All right, Marks and Reese, we're back. Baldy coming up at 4 o'clock. His thoughts on everything we're talking about here.
Baldy?
Matchups against the Eagles and what he sees from the team. So Baldy's coming up here in less than a half hour. Some Sixers news here, Ike. Doc Rivers has cleared protocol, and he will rejoin the team.
Celebrate him. Celebrate all the stuff he does well.
He's going to go down as one of the least liked coaches in the city. I think he's the Arietta of coaches. I really do. Oh, Jack, I'm so out, and I'm not getting back in. Like outside of winning a championship, which ain't going to happen.
No. No. It really is amazing how, for some of us, and I think a lot of us, they have really turned us off from the team.
Yeah.
Whether it's Ben, whether it's, Doc telling us to celebrate him, the Tobias thing the other night, like the team has become
not warm and fuzzy.
Right. It used to be a warm and fuzzy team.
It was.
It used to be the fun team of the
lovable,
city.
yes.
Right, Rocco.
Well, back then.
Dario.
Right.
TJ.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, those players weren't telling us to shut the bleep up and do all of that.
It was a fun team.
That's true. You're right, Jack.
It was a fun team. This team, I mean, the guys don't feel like they're having fun. Like, they're under pressure, and they know it. And I'll say this about Doc. We were on this early last year when he was doing the whole thing. He kept saying, you people think this or you people think that. It's
only in Philadelphia.
It's like, hold on a second. Who are you talking to? Like, why are you talking to us like that?
Right.
And it was always about Ben Simmons. It was always like, oh, you people. They're like, hold on a second. Early on, Doc decided he was going to have Ben's back until when they lost, and then he bailed on him. But he said, like, oh, I don't care if he scores, right? To where all he had to do was manage the situation better, to not be the, like, yo, Doc, you just got here. We've been watching this whole Ben Simmons thing for a couple of years now. We already know what's going on here. You don't. Mm-hmm. And the second they lost, he became us for a split second, and it cost them.
As a matter of fact, they all became us for a split second.
Yes, they did.
they all, Doc, Ben, and Daryl Morey, couldn't hide the frustration with Ben Simmons' lack of want to shoot the ball and be aggressive on the offensive end of the court. And here's the other thing I'll say with Doc. And, I hope this isn't the case, but I'm putting things together, and I'm saying, well, where'd the players come from? Didn't you hear Danny Green? Danny Green had to have another statement about, he's defending Tobias Harris. I'm not going to knock him for defending his teammate, but the whole lecturing to the fan base thing.
He's another guy.
Yeah, he's another guy that jumped in it last summer, and now he's back at it again. I wonder how much of this is a seed planted to these guys, because these guys weren't like that prior to Doc being here. I didn't hear Brett Brown telling us to celebrate Ben Simmons, and this could only happen in Philadelphia. We know why? Because Brett Brown realized the patience that this fan base had with he and that organization during that time. We gave Brett Brown the leadway to lose games and do that sort of thing, right? So Brett Brown wasn't going to turn around and then spit in the face of this fan base. He wasn't.
And Doc comes in with, I'm Doc Rivers, I'm a championships. And
So let me ask you this. Do you think that seems like that's something that he could have relayed to the players? Because it almost seems like they've taken on that sort of mentality.
He's definitely helped set the tone of the locker room, which is, Danny Green is having Ben Simmons' back and ripping us, and then Ben Simmons totally bails on his team, and it's like, see, and now he's coming out, and he's having, like you said, he has his teammates back. Danny Green's a good teammate, right? Like, he's a good teammate. That's fine.
But you don't have to take on the fans.
You don't have to take. Here's what I know: you're never going to win taking on the fans. You're just not. I mean, it's like you're and if you realize, especially here, you realize that, and just sometimes you might just have to say, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. I want to say something. I'm not going to say something.
Man, they were fun, man.
It was fun.
Man, they were fun. They were fun to root for. They were fun to win. I just, with the team, I don't even have the desire to pay attention closely.
Right now, it's hard.
I watched the highlights, and they got a big matchup. I watched them against, Golden State. When they play a good team, I'm watching. I'm rooting for them.
Are you, though?
Yeah, I'm rooting for them because it's Philadelphia. So
I know.
I want the basketball team to win. But to your point, I'm really not emotionally invested. I really am not.
Like the other night, Embiid had a fantastic game, and that was a good game and everything else. But
you know what I said? So they won. Okay.
But see,
put
like
some wins together.
He can't do that every night, and that's what they're going to need him to do in the playoffs. He's going to have to be the best player in every series that they play, and he hasn't been reliable enough to do that.
Well, I mean, listen, he can be as good as he wants. They're not going to be good enough to beat the top teams in the East.
Right.
Just don't have enough.
No.
I mean, which brings us to you guys brought something up about
All right, so according to Sam Amick of The Athletic, the Kings' interest in Ben Simmons is definitely there, and while they would prefer to keep building around De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Haliburton, no player is off the table in terms of potential talks.
Okay.
Well, if those players are on the table, then that should interest Daryl Morey, unless, as I've been reading recently, because Damian Lillard is now injured. He's still injured, and I think he's been shut down at least for a little bit. The Trailblazers are bad, as most people expected them to be, but there's been stories out there that are saying that Morey is still holding out for Lillard or Beal or that type of a player.
Okay, well, I'm sure he is, but that doesn't tell me that Damian Lillard wants to come here.
Right.
Yeah, until we hear that.
Fox and Haliburton, do they interest you?
I'm taking anything. Yes. We don't have Ben right now, so getting two players to add to the mix. Yes,
I agree.
Yes, I'm
ready to move on from the whole Ben Simmons thing.
I've been ready to move on. Listen, De'Aaron Fox is a nice young player, but he's an add-on. He's not Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? He's not like he's somebody who's coming in to change the fortune of your franchise. You can't even get the Sacramento Kings to 500. So,
right.
I mean, he would be a nice add-on to what we have here. And this is where Daryl Morey may be saying, I think we can do better.
Right, doesn't make you good enough to really matter.
Right, that's the way he's looking at it. But me, I'd take it. Just to move on from Ben.
Yeah.
I would take it, and, I mean, I would.
It's a pretty interesting about the 76ers as a whole, right? Like the former lovable, like it felt like man, we finally got our team. Like we got our team that we can root for.
We watched them grow, and it's like
I got negative on them a couple years ago. Embiid sort of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know what it was, but it's kind of still went downhill from them. Jack, are you still Sixered up and like, oh man, love this team?
No, but for me, the expectations changed. Like, back then, it was like they were so lovable because it's like, all right, we have a window.
Right.
Finally in the playoffs.
And I think the problem with this team now is that we feel like the window is closed, and the only thing that can really save the window from being open is a Ben trade for an actual superstar. Like, that's the only thing they can – the expectations are championship or bust at this point because we know Embiid has three or 4 years left.
I'm going to give you guys – wait till I say this. Two guys that I remember. Now, one was kind of half in and half out on this idea, but I think it's because he ultimately knew that the other guy's point of view was really correct, but it wasn't something you can sell to the fan base. So Roadshow used to have Andrew Porter. His thought process was the championship doesn't matter as much to me. I want to see the team built, develop, and grow together. Because he kind of understood once expectations start, it takes the fun away from watching the team. So the moment we started signing Tobias Harris and trading for Jimmy Butler and all this other stuff, then we wanted a title. But when they were Dario, and not the damn Feds, but that group of people, that group of people without Markelle, I guess, Jack's right. That's when they were the fun team. And Spike is the other guy. But they knew, because Spike is a rights to Ricky guy, and he was about to trust the process.
And he liked his guys.
That was the fun part.
The build was more fun than actually when it's like, okay, now you got to win, and it's like, hold on, that's hard.
And they didn't like when they started getting rid of their guys, the Robert Covingtons, the T.J. McConnells, all the guys that would have been like glue guys, but it still wouldn't have been enough to ultimately win. And their point was, you know what? This is our team, though. I would rather watch this team and enjoy this team.
Well, they pushed their chips in on a team that wasn't ready to win.
Yes.
Just like the Phillies did.
And do you know why? Do you remember why they made the trade for Butler and then Tobias Harris?
Because of Howard.
But no, Ben wasn't scoring enough. They needed more punch, and they got desperate. They said, you know what? We can't win like this.
Yeah.
let's take
They
these
knew they
assets
needed
and try to
more
win right
offense.
now.
Yep.
Yeah, because Ben wasn't reliable enough, and they knew it.
And Markel was.
And Markel was a disaster, right?
Yes.
Like the two things they counted on to be enough, they knew wasn't enough, and they said,
Yeah.
"Hey, Jimmy Butler's available.
Yeah.
Let's go." See, like they probably just should have stayed away from. What did Tobias Harris cost them the first, and Shamet?
Landry, yeah.
But more importantly, the contract that they were then cornered into giving them because they had made the trade.
And they had made the decision not to keep Butler.
Yes,
Like, whatever went into that decision,
Ben.
I mean, you could have kept Butler instead of Tobias.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that the idea of Butler was nice, but it didn't work with Ben, and it wasn't going to work long term with Ben
Long-term.
from
And
either
Brett Brown-
standpoint.
and Brett Brown was still here, who
Yep.
Butler didn't like either.
Yeah, he was not. He was not staying.
But if you're and your star player wanted you to keep him,
Yes.
Yep.
And Ben had trade value then too.
right?
Yep.
So the Sixers almost put themselves. They did. They put themselves in this position.
He did. Yep.
And they got. Remember, Embiid was upset that they got rid of Butler and J.J. Redick.
Yep.
JJ was his favorite teammate ever.
Yep. Could shoot the three. Could
Yeah.
kick it out to him. Yeah.
So,
And
man.
now we're left to debate. You're gonna get like this. I saw this after Jaylen Brown scored 50 points. There was another thing saying like, the Sixers are still interested in Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
They're not trading Jaylen Brown
Yeah.
for Ben Simmons.
Yeah, the problem is the Celtics aren't interested in Ben Simmons.
It was literally the day after he scored 50, and somebody new wrote the column. Like, just wanted to choke him.
Yeah, I'll take Jaylen Brown right now.
You want Maxey in that
Right,
deal? Let me
yeah.
hold on. Who else do you need on the team?
I wonder if the right player is up there. Morey gives up Maxey with Ben, doesn't he?
Yeah.
For the right player.
Sure.
He was going to do it for Harden.
Yeah, he gives up Maxey.
Yeah.
And you almost have to. Maxey is the one that makes the Ben deal look good to the other team.
It does.
It certainly isn't Ben.
No. No, it's that you can you can say, well, we got some offense to go
Right.
with Ben.
Right.
We got a guy
and
that
he's a young player.
he's a young
Yeah.
player and he's
Yep.
inexpensive. He's under club control for a couple of years.
Yep.
All right, well there you go. Awesome.
None of the Sixers news is ever good news. It never makes you feel good after talking about it. Honestly.
No, I did. I enjoyed when they lost more than right now. Henry Sims brings a smile to my face. None of these guys bring a smile to my face.
Oh, man, Jeremy Grant.
Make me feel good. Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, we could have kept him.
All those bad guys. Yeah, Ish Smith. They had to trade for him to get to 10 wins. All right.
I wanted that record so bad that year.
It would have been better with 5 wins, right?
Exactly, yes. I wanted that record.
The NBA was like,
we might as
what?
well be the best at something.
Yep. And they just frankly deserved that
deserved
record.
it.
They did. They tried to. Yeah, they deserved it. Let's go to the phones with Kay. Kay's calling from North Philadelphia. Kay, how are you?
Hey, John. Hey, Ike. What's
Hey,
up,
Kay.
Zach?
What up, Kay?
Let me get a hit of that Ike juice, please.
Oh, like that. They must have been drinking that Ike juice. They drinking like they drinking.
So that's how I be in my car. I just had to bring y'all in a little bit. Number one, I'd rather the Cardinals out of all three. Everyone has said what the reason behind it is, but I do think the Cardinals is our best shot at getting to the second round right now.
Mm-hmm.
And any chance for us to get to the second round, Eagles fans like me, we want more football. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna take the Cardinals all day. Yes, I do want pay. We already got payback on the GOAT. We got a ring. We
Yeah.
good.
And that's probably, if you ask him, that's probably the Super Bowl that he regrets more than any of them. Well, maybe
Oh,
one of those.
yes.
Well, maybe the 17-0 year, the 18-0 team.
It's the Eli. It's the Eli Super Bowls. But that, like, to this day, I mean, Tom wouldn't shake Nick
Yeah.
Foles' hand
Yeah,
after the game.
Still won't.
Yep,
He's still salty. He's salty.
he is.
Now,
I do like
Andy
that part
brought up-
about it. I do like that.
yeah. Now, when y'all brought up Google, and I never thought to Google search you guys. I listen to y'all every day, and never once in my mind say, hey, let me Google search them.
Huh?
Today I did. It's weird. You know, people are asking how many children you have, Ike. Like, that is weird.
Oh, yeah? Well, they could
That's
just ask
weird.
me that, Kay. I got 3 kids.
Yeah. You got 3. We all know that. They just got a 2 men. We all know that. And the only other thing, one last thing, Jack, you might want to change the Wikipedia. It says that you're the producer of Giglio show, when actually you're the producer of the best radio show on WIP.
Ooh.
Ooh, talk to him, Kay. Talk to him, Kay.
What, Jack
So-
Fritz has a Wikipedia?
Oh yeah, I Google search Jack too.
Jack Fritz has a Wikipedia and I don't.
Yeah.
Hold on, John Marks doesn't have Wikipedia?
I do not,
Oh,
no.
wow.
No, when you Google me, a British jazz pianist comes up.
I
Yeah.
said that, and I was like, a British jazz.
Yeah.
I don't think that's John. And then I went down
No.
and was like, deceased that this. I was like, oh no, that's not my Johnny Marks. That's somebody else.
Damn right.
man.
Yep.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
thank
but
you, Kay.
Yeah, they're talking about Jack's 8-minute run and everything on Google.
Oh,
Google
really?
Jack. Yeah, Jack's a big
Now, do you
deal.
put Jack Fritz or John Fritz? Because he's not really Jack Fritz. His real name's John Fritz.
All right.
Does it say that?
No, it's Jack Fritz. Jack Fritz comes up. The Odyssey app has you down as Julio's producer. You might want to look into that.
Oh,
man.
Well, maybe
Thank you, Kay.
they just. Kay, thank you, hon.
Yes,
maybe,
thanks for pointing that out.
maybe Jack just didn't get the news yet that he's been moved back to the evening, and they just.
Yep.
Oh, you'd be crushed.
Jack.
Those hours were brutal. That's why Tucker's eating chili and milk.
Is that why he's eating chili and milk?
It's a tough. Well, like when Vince Quinn was the evening producer, because once Julio's done at 10, then you have to go till 12. So you're producing half of the other show that goes from 10 to 2 a.m.
Right.
And during Philly season,
6-hour shifts.
yes,
Yes,
and then during
gotcha.
Philly season, it's a grind. Like Jack probably loved it because he's he loved the
Baseball,
play-by-play or
yes.
whatever.
I
But
didn't not by the end.
yeah, it's a
So
long
that's a
season,
long-
dude.
Yeah, I mean 12 at night you're getting at.
And when your team's bad and you're doing games in September, the last thing you want to do is be coming in and cutting up clips for Jim Jackson to use on the postgame.
Yeah,
show.
poor Julio's had to deal with some bad September fills the last couple of years.
Yeah. There you go. By the way, I just wanted to mention this because
Jack Fritz College League stats.
Oh, don't look at that. They're bad. No, it's not. I don't have a
CRA
Wikipedia.
is 11.
I don't have a Wikipedia page, but like someone, I don't know what it is, wrote up a whole article about me, and it's like so creepy. They have like Jill in here,
Oh, wow.
and like my parents.
What, you don't know about the article?
No, all of a sudden it came up one day, and it's like all my but like old stuff. It's weird. It's creepy. It's not a real Wikipedia.
It's not you're right.
Oh,
right.
all right.
Which is probably why we never go to a Wikipedia page because, I've never typed or put any information in there.
Right.
It could say anything.
Yeah, the only someone had added me to my high school's Wikipedia as a famous alumni, and then that was edited and taken out, is what they told me. They said they
Well,
tried
why?
to add it. They said you should be in that. Apparently, whoever runs that Wikipedia is not a fan of me, so they edited me right back out. Because I guess you can edit the Wikipedia page. Anybody can.
Anybody can. Yes.
I didn't know that. Well, yeah, you can because you can shade. People do funny stuff all the time. Like Joe Judge was getting ridiculed on Wikipedia not that long ago. In all seriousness, I did want to mention this case calling from North Philly. There was a house fire that was in Fairmount
I did see
this
that,
morning.
yeah.
I didn't see if they updated it, but at least 13 people died, including 7 children. So, like, I don't want to start crying on the air, which is something I've done from time to time. But, like, just absolutely, like, how tragic, man. So, shout out and thoughts and everything to all the people that are affected by that up there. That's just a brutal story. Brutal story.
Yeah, man.
Terrible. And in other news, people on I-95 in the Washington, D.C. area were stranded on the highway for like a day.
A day and a half, 2 days.
They weren't expecting a snowstorm, and no one could get to them?
I mean, when you're backed up 48 miles, how do you get to them?
Yeah, like tens of thousands of cars just packed on 95 with nowhere to go and no food, no water. People were getting off exits to get gas, but then the secondary roads were just as backed up. I guess that snowstorm we had the other day, they weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
No one was calling for the snow, and it absolutely crushed the region. So, there were, like you said, people were stuck in their car for 2 days.
Yep.
So Jack's making sure he has a full menu of food in his car just in case something like that happens.
Right. I do have my golf gloves in my car. I don't know if that's going to help. But
Do you?
No,
Yeah.
not this time of the year. It won't.
No. Well, I can get some. You have plenty of time to get some reps. Caught on 95.
Swings in.
Seriously. So, Jack, do you have, like, right now, if you were stranded in your car for a day, how would you fare? Do you have, because I know Joe DeCamera he's almost like a 7-Eleven in his car with old food.
No,
Who's my man?
One time I
He's
went.
that guy.
One time I don't know why I had to get something from Joe DeCamera's car. I was there, and there was a travel one of the cereal boxes that you like.
I know what you're saying. We got his kid.
That you can pour milk right into it,
Yep,
and
yep.
it had been there for weeks because it was moldy. It was in his cup holder in the middle, and he had this moldy like corn pops. Milk was pouring in. it was mold was coming out. There was stuff everywhere.
Yeah, he does have a girlfriend.
I don't know if it's still
There's no
like
way
that.
Amy's riding that car with him. There's no way.
Right, he just rides with her.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't.
What's the house look like? And why are you eating cereal in the car, man?
While he's driving.
Yeah.
Seriously, he was eating breakfast in the car.
Why?
Oh,
you got a 10 o'clock show. You don't have a 7 o'clock show. You got a 10 o'clock show.
This is years ago, but I would assume that you don't all of a sudden become a neat freak.
Right. Oh no, you know he's not a neat freak. There's no way. No way. Although, if you all of a sudden become entangled in a relationship,
Yeah, you can change.
yeah, because sometimes
Well, you would have to go at least.
she would suggest that you would change, or I would have to question, some women aren't necessarily neat freaks, and
They don't want moldy cereal
Yeah,
things
I
in
would
the
have
car,
to think
though.
most women don't want that in the car.
Right. I would agree.
Yeah, I would have to think that. Right, and as a female, right, you got to tell the guy, come on, dude, you got to.
All right, so
you
Ike.
got to straighten this up, clean this up.
Messier car, Renee Reese or Ike Reese?
Oh, Renee Reese easily.
Right?
Yeah, it's not even close.
Jack, Jill keeps a nicer car.
We only have one car.
Oh, that's right.
It's my car.
Yeah.
So, but who's neater in the car?
Jill. She made me clean it out the other day.
Car.
No, it's my car. She's not allowed to drive my car.
She doesn't drive your car
No.
in stupid Volkswagen
It's
that
a
you drive
family
around?
car.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not a family
So
car.
she's not allowed to drive it?
I
She's
mean,
your
she
wife.
needed
She's
to.
a family car.
If
Well, we
she-
drive
hold on.
everywhere together. We go to
Hold
the
on.
grocery store together. We do everything together.
But
It's
hang
not like
on.
she need. If
you
she
got one car in the house, how are you calling it your car?
because I bought
So
it and
you
I
do-
paid for it. I paid for the insurance on
When
it.
was the last time that she has driven your car?
I don't think she's. Well, I was drunk leaving a Phillies game.
So she hasn't driven a car in years?
No, she doesn't need to. I mean, we lived in Ardmore, so she walked to
Yeah,
work, and
yeah.
then she worked from home.
Okay, but still, don't you have the need to at least
Yeah,
get behind
go
the
to
wheel of a
stores
car
or something.
once a month?
No.
What do you keep her trapped in the house?
No,
What's wrong with
she,
you?
she works all day, and we live in town, so we walk everywhere. We don't need to drive.
Is she allowed to speak to her family and friends, Jack?
She's an insurance liability behind the wheel.
So you're calling her a bad driver?
Now we're getting to the truth of the matter here.
Well, honestly, it hasn't really been a thing. Like I haven't had to worry about it. And
Right.
when we have kids, I'm sure we'll have to get another car.
Well, yeah, you think?
Yeah, but when it's just us, I'll drive. I drive. But if I have too much, then she drives.
All right.
I can imagine living in a house with one car right now.
I know. Well, we live in towns. We don't have a driveway anyway.
Well, I
so-
grew up in a house with no car.
Right. Now he's got 4.
Well, 3 at least, yeah.
Yeah. Soon to be. 215-592.
Yeah, we'll be 4 next year.
9494.
Sorry, pal.
She's old enough.
Marks and Reese. 215-592-9494. Baldy. His usual spot on Wednesdays. What do you think about the win over Washington? Does he give them a chance in the playoffs? Who would he prefer to see? All of that coming up with Brian Baldinger next. It's Marks and Reese on 94 WIP. Hey, let's talk about dieting for a second. That's right. 40 days up to 40 pounds. How's that sound? Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. You can do it with NJ Diet. It only takes 40 days to lose 20 to 40 pounds. And since NJ Diet is a contractually guaranteed money-back program, you really have nothing to worry about, nothing to lose. NJ Diet is 100% tailored to you by using bioenergetically personalized supplements based on your hair, saliva, and blood work. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to create your ideal diet plan and workout regimen to help you keep it off. 40 days up to 40 pounds. That can be a real thing for you. Unlike other weight loss systems, NJ Diet is all natural. You know what that means? No shots, no hormones, no prepackaged foods, and no surgery. And with offices close by in Princeton and Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and King of Prussia, or from home, check this out. Live online video consultations. Check it out. Start your new journey this year by calling them right now. 855-5NJ-DIET. 855-5NJ-DIET. Or check them out. Go to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds.